Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier led the party's Zuma campaign in Welkom in the Free State. He also spoke about former President Jacob Zuma contesting the chairperson position, saying instead of campaigning for leadership, the 80-year-old should play an advisor role in the ANC. Political analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast joins us with more on this. Dr. Breakfast, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Former President Jacob Zuma is a free man again, which means that he may attend public events, of course, with reports of his ambitions to make himself available for the national chairman position. I suppose that's a leeway to go in that direction. But that in itself has been met with a lot of remarks. I mean, the president today saying that his focus should be diverted elsewhere within the party. And National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe said it's the biggest joke of 2022, if that is the case. What are your thoughts around this, his release and also speaking to his ambitions?
Paul, it's not a laughing matter. I think former President Zuma is dead serious that he wants to stand for a chairmanship position. Now, with regard to the Zuma campaign, I think it's a good idea, in theory, to put the branches of the ANC at the heart of local government by promoting service delivery and also by promoting development, because sometimes there's a disjuncture between the struggles of communities on the ground and what leaders of the ANC do on the other hand. Sometimes leaders of the ANC are not mass-based. I'm saying this in the light of food insecurity, gender-based violence, the increment of fuel, and so on. So it's good to put the branches of the ANC at the center of community struggles. But on the other hand, I also think that President Ramaphosa, and this speaks to your question, also is taking strategic advantage of the campaign, the Zuma campaign, by promoting his own personal campaign. No wonder he took a swipe, in my opinion, at former President Zuma, that why would he want to stand for the chairmanship position, given the fact that he has held the highest position of the ANC, which is that of a president. So the question is, what is the political meaning of this? It simply means that the gloves are off. Now people are campaigning, the battle lines are drawn.
So perhaps let's go back on the one aspect that you raised just now, that it's not a laughing matter when it comes to the former president's political ambitions. Some are saying that the future is bleak for him. I mean, he couldn't even convince the ANC in his home province to back Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma for the post of ANC president come the party's elective conference.
Normally politicians, by nature, they don't like to let go of power, largely because if you let go of power, you are normally left without political protection. No wonder Msholozi wants to bounce back to power. But I disagree with his strategy, because you don't have to hold a position in order for you to have a political influence. You can do that behind closed doors. You can even do that by co-opting someone and making that person to conform in order to advance your agenda. Or you can assimilate someone and push your agenda through that person. Because the issue is that former President Zuma has held the most senior position in the ANC. In my opinion, former President Zuma is the senior of seniors. He belongs to a different league, that league of former President Beki and Motlanthe and so on. So it doesn't make sense, in my humble opinion, why he would want to be a chairman of all positions. That beats me.
Mm-hmm. Now, perhaps just going back to the Zuma campaign, it comes at a time where there has been a lot of infighting in the Free State, especially looking at the fact that the province is yet to hold its elective conference. It was meant to be held in July, but that didn't happen, and September was also a date that was poised for the conference, but also that didn't happen. Speaking to the political dynamics within the province.
Of course, Mpho, the ANC has been embroiled in the Free State in factional battles. Some are for the former Premier Ace Magashula, others are against him. And the people are suffering, it's the people on the ground. And also there have been many service delivery protests that have broken out of late in that part of the world. Not to say that phenomenon is confined to Free State, largely because of lack of responsiveness of politicians alongside public officials, or sometimes it happens because the public is also omitted in terms of decision making. So the role of the ANC is extremely important in terms of facilitating service delivery, facilitating a qualitative improvement of the lives of the people.
You say that ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's, Zuma efforts are all strategic advances meant to promote his own campaign. I mean, just last week we saw him in Shiawelo in Soweto, where some backing was announced for him then. And in terms of the road ahead, I mean, we're just a month and a half away from the December elective conference. Where is President Cyril Ramaphosa standing in terms of support, and what this may indicate in charting a way forward on the future of his role within the party?
Yeah, sometimes, Mpho, I mean, this is not rocket science. The president catches a flight from Pretoria to the Eastern Cape to launch something that could have been done by a ward councillor, strategically using state resources. So he is on a political mission to facilitate his comeback, but he does that strategically within the framework of the law. I don't think that there's something illegal about that, but maybe there's something unethical about it. So he is on the move. He is on a political mission, despite the fact that he has been doing that in advance before the branches of the ANC have been given a go-ahead to do that. So by the look of things, it looks like he might come back in my opinion. I mean, there have been many provinces that have nominated him, branches throughout the length and the breadth of the only thing that will hold him back, in my opinion, is this Phala thing. Yeah. I don't know, reports through the grapevine that some people in the integrity committee say that he must step aside and allow the due process to take place. That is I'm not saying that that is true or that is not true, but I'm just saying that that is the only thing that can hold him back from coming back.
Yeah, and today, I mean, he was in a province where he's been informed that he's not welcome, and also speaking to some of the reasons, just going back to our conversation around the elective conference still pending, still not having taken place. The ANC in the Free State has said that they are trying to avoid being legally challenged as they go into conference. As we speak to some of the reasons why there's been so many delays, I mean, the infighting, the factionalism, but they saying that they want to avoid a legal challenge. And we've also seen it. We've seen what could transpire and how long that could delay the actual conference as the frustration boils with the disagreements around the branches.
One of the reasons why there are litigations in the ANC is because even the conflict resolution or dispute committee is also having a vested interest in the upcoming conference of the ANC. No wonder some people, they normally walk out of the ANC and approach courts to lay bare their grievances because they're well aware about the political dynamics at play. So that is so you can't blame people for not having faith in the ANC processes. So I think some of the leaders of the ANC, especially at H2, are well aware about that. No wonder they want to follow policy and procedure in terms of the upcoming conference of the ANC in the first state.
And perhaps veering off slightly off what we're talking about, as you and I speak, we've got a breaking news strap on the screen where the former KZN leader, Zwagele Mngwango, has left the DA. But, you know, could you say we saw this coming, given how he also left his position in the province?
One of the challenges of the DA has been the issue of race. Whether you like it or not, you know, race is a central way of examining things in the South African body politic. I know that the DA espouses the conception of non-racialism, that they are colorblind. But if you look at the people that have walked away from the DA, they have a particular color. So I think the DA needs to have an in-depth discussion about how to retain, you know, black people, or what are the issues that black people are grappling with within the DA. Because you have two groups. There are people who are for transformation within the DA. There are other people who are against that no, the DA must transcend beyond racial categorization. It must espouse non-racialism. And some of the people who thought that they could change the DA on the inside, they've left the DA because they realized that they lost that battle. So some people might say that the leader that has left the DA is also jumping on the bandwagon.
Very well. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for weighing in, Dr.